Hello everyone, after our first two guides on the mage, we come to fire, the pyromaniac. This spec is my favorite mage spec, it's been for a long time. It's a lot of fun. You burn things everywhere, you got phoenixes flying from your hands and you just burn, burn, burn. It's a lot of fun, so let's go into it. Stats, as usual, crit, 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 and more crit. Here I'm sitting at 40%, 42% with my own buff, and then with food I might be a bit higher. Don't know exactly how much. So crit is actually right now worth more than the intellect, which is kind of stupid. Fire is one of the most hyper scaling specs in the game, where more crit it gives you tons of DPS. After that, you're going to want mastery because it makes your target burn more. So the thing you're going to be spreading your dots, spreading your ignites, and so mastery is your second best spec. One would argue that it's actually the best spec for AoE damage, or mass AoE damage, but there's not a lot of fights with mass AoE damage in Hellfire Citadel when the AoE is actually sustained. So here we go. Crit is the way to go. Cap is, I think, somewhere around 72% because of critical mass, which uh, increases your chance to crit. Critical mass, here we go, multiplies the critical strike chance of your Fireball, Frostbite, Pyroblast, and Scorch by 1.3. So the actual total of maximum of crit is something like 100 divided by 1.3 minus 3% for crit suppression on bosses. So you don't want to go over 70% with enchants and trinket because you need a crit trinket to reliably play fire. So either you craft yourself this one, which is extremely good because 20% of crit is going to cover your burst phases. Um, it's going to be up for every combustion almost. Or you can get mythic Gore and Soul Repository, which is also very good, but this one is slightly better in my opinion. Anyway, we're going to talk gear later. Talents and glyphs. Talents, again, the first four ones, tiers are whatever, up to you. Here, it's a debate between Blast Wave and Living Bomb. Living Bomb, if you're going to have a lot of targets, if there's a lot of targets that die quickly and you manage to bomb them all, you're going to get tons of explosions, which is good. Unstable Magic, since you do not like haste and you want it only works on Fireball. So if it worked on Pyroblast as well, that would have been perfect, but unfortunately it's not the case. Blast Wave is the equivalent of Supernova or Ice Nova. It's good. It's decent. It's gonna be fun on the Crystal. It's gonna be fine. Level 90 always the same. A rune if you don't move when contest flow. Level 100. Don't take me tier. I feel it's not very good. For some reason. Uh, the damage is split, which is not good. Prismatic Crystal, as usual, for a single target, but also it has some merits for multiple target, especially burst situations. Kindling, once you get tons of crit, this becomes good because you reduce the cooldown on combustion by 1 second every crit strike. So if you crit, you basically do, I don't know, tons of crits. Every minute you must be doing, I think, at least 40 crits. So you see you reduce the cooldown by quite a lot. That's why you can take combustion. Increase the duration of the damage over time effect and the cooldown of combustion by 100%. This is when you want sustained AoE. If you don't want sustained AoE, you're going to remove that and you want shorter combustion to burst things down and have more combustions overall. Glyph of Ignite to slow them. Inferno Blast to spread everything to one more target, especially Living Bomb to get spread to another target. This is can be spread. It can be spread, right? Sorry, I just have a doubt all of a sudden. Yes, maybe spread by Inferno Blast. So you could do one bomb, boom, spread it, and then watch everything explode in flames. So now core rotation, core abilities. The core spells of Fireball, obviously, which is your filler. And Inferno Blast is interesting. Why? Because Inferno Blast always crits. And in fire, you're gonna have an instant Pyroblast proc if you crit twice in a row. Here I crit twice in a row. See? So I can fire an instant pyro. Good. Now, let's say I only crit once. I see this heating up, which means I have one crit. If I press Inferno Blast right now, it's gonna crit and activate Pyroblast. This is why this spell is good. Boom. I have a pyro now, and I can send a pyro. Inferno Blast used to have 2 chargers, rip 2-piece for 2-piece tier 17. Now it only has 1 charge as its baseline and 8-second cooldown. So you can't spam this, just get crits. So we're gonna have to be clever in how we use Inferno Blast, which is the core of Fire Mage, because it spreads our dots as well. Normally you want to be using Inferno Blast to spread dots and not only create Pyroblast crits. So the way this is gonna happen, the main rotation is, let's say I have a pyro proc. Okay, come on, RNG. Here we go. I don't want to throw my Pyroblast right now. What I want to be in the situation where I have 1 pyro proc and 1 eating up. That way, I have a fireball and a Pyroblast at the same time. I have a chance to go back to the same situation. Here I'm not in this, so I go back to the same situation. Here, again, no. I want to go back to this situation, and then I can fire my pyro at the same time with a fireball. This is the ideal scenario after a Pyroblast. Again, here, but I want to be in this situation to be able to cast fireball, Pyroblast, fireball, Pyroblast every time. This is this, and it's exactly the same you'll notice as Frost once you get 4-piece. You want to be Frostbolt Icelands, you want to be weaving basically. This is going to be your ideal scenario. And then your Inferno Blast is going to be always available when you want to spread dots. So this is the situation you want to be in at all times. Exactly like this. Again, like this. That's perfect. That's perfect for me. This gives me a huge ignite to combust on. Again, huge ignite, 7995. So now I can combust, and combust is doing like 6.5k without any buffs, which is not extremely good, but you know, that's something. So now let's talk about combustion. Combustion is, I would say, one of the most interesting DPS talents of any class, where everyone else gets something like, oh, you have 20% more haste or 30% more crit or something boring like this. Combustion is fun, kind of like the sub-rogue as well, which is why I play sub-rogue as well. What does combustion do? Combustion resets the cooldown on Inferno Blast. Okay, well, this is going to be helpful because it's going to help us to spread dots, but in spread combustion. And combust your ignite on the target, burning for additional damage over 20 seconds, equal to 16 seconds of ignite's current damage over time. So what does that mean? That means that it's going to calculate your ignite at the time you press combustion. It's going to do a little magic and add 1 dot to the target. All right, so, and you'll see that this will do tons of damage. So what happens is you want to build the max ignite that you can on the target on the pull. This is where the crystal comes into play with your opener. So having a good combustion is a critical element of a fire mage. It's where most of your DPS will come from on ad phases, and this is why they bring you into the raid, even on single target. So what you want to do at the start of a fight, you want to be in the situation that we talked about, where you have pyro here and this. Then you drop your crystal, then you target the crystal, you pop all your potions and whatever, and then you charge the crystal, maximum ignite on the crystal, there we go, and then you combust, and then you spread it. And here, see combustion 8k. We had 6.5 or 7k before, now we have 8k. So the combustion is going to be pretty solid when you combine it with the ring and everything else. This is how you want to do it for single target. You want to build the maximum ignite on the crystal, then spread it to the boss. What you were able to do before was to big the same huge ignite on the crystal. You had 2 charges of Inferno Blast, so you spread the ignite twice, and it counted as a double ignite on the new target, and then you combust it for shit tons of damage. I had combustions go for 110k ticks, so, and multiply that with 3 targets on maidens or something like this. It was insane. But now it's toned down a bit. So that's basically how it plays. It's not very complicated. It's just that you need to understand your Inferno Blast usage and your Living Bomb usage, of course, as well, because you don't want to be spending GCDs mindlessly in that spec. Side note, Flame Strike hits harder now because it's incorporated into the class trinket, but it's still crap. Dragon's Breath hits like a truck, though. Just have a look here. It crits at 25k, so and it's a cone in AOE. So Dragon Breath, if you're close to the boss or close to us, this is extremely good. Let's talk about gear. So you want crit on all your pieces, basically, right? So the head is the heroic tier, or the tier. Glowing Firestone, this is, I don't remember who's it from, but this crit and multi-strike, you take it for the crit. Tier piece here because crit, and haste is not that bad for fire because it helps you with your what we call pyro camping, where you're waiting for your pyros to proc. Shoal of Sanguinary Ritual, I have something with Mastery and multi-strike here. I should have something with crit on it, but I don't think I have anything with crit on it. Yeah, so I need to craft one basically, which will give me more crit. But maybe I will hit the craft limit. Let's see. No, actually no. So I should do this, for example. Tier here because it gives mastery, and you can't offset that many things. Contemptuous Wrist Guards, crit and mastery, perfect stats. You want the staff from Gorfiend, which is perfect, crit and mastery. This is exactly what you want. Tier hands because crit. Here there's not a lot of good alternatives, so I choose to go with the craft. Leggings of the Iron Summoner from Manaroth because crit. This is the piece I offset because if I remember, these are master and multi-strike. So there's a debate. You could actually go with tier here. You could actually go with tier and remove these instead. But I simmed it, and I think this is better to have these just because of the eye level and because I have them in Horek. That helps. This is Mythic Blackrock Foundry Cave Dweller Climbers. Sorry. I think I got this from a box, but it's crit and mastery, so alternatively you can have a craft on these. Crit and haste, this is the same as I use in Arcane, that's why it's enchanted to haste here. And I don't know, this one is to haste also because I use it for frost, anyway. Sandman's Pouch is the best crit trinket. Get it upgraded over at level 715. I know that Mythic, if you have Mythic Goran Soul Repository, that it has less intellect, but the crit proc is much longer on this one. It's 20 seconds and there's more crit. And the internal cooldown is longer, but I did the math and it gives more crit, Sandman's Pouch, but less frequently. So it is situational. You could, if you are a real crazy min-maxer, you could see a scenario where it might be interesting for you to swap these. I use Unblinking Gaze of Seth because it's a decent AOE proc, and there's a lot of intellect on it. The reason why I don't use the class trinket is because where is it? Let's see, Tome. Here we go. It's because the only effect is you have a 71% chance to also cast a Flame Strike at the target's location. And Flame Strike doesn't do much. It does good AoE, but you get good AoE with Unblinking Gaze as well. So I'd rather have the intellect. Thank you very much. This is very bad design from Fire, but from the class trinket, it's a bit disappointing. But the spec is still fun. Let's talk about our 2 and 4 sets. 2 set. Pyroblast has a 25% chance to conjure a Fiery Phoenix, dealing fire damage. This is what you saw. You saw some phoenixes flying. Let's have those phoenixes coming. Okay, here we go. Let's see. No, nothing. Ah, there we go. You see one. The most fun thing about this is if you multi-strike with the phoenix damage, you will see small phoenixes behind the big phoenix. Let's see if we can see that. Nope. I get tons of procs, but this is what happens when your trinket is up, by the way. This is why it's so good. Okay. And apparently it doesn't want to. Anyway, that's fine. You'll see. It's small, cute phoenixes. And the full set, this is why I had some wings on me. It basically gives me 6% spell damage and 6% haste for 15 seconds after I summon a phoenix. So, which means I have crit with my pyro. So let's see. Nope. Nope.
I can't pass that yet.
Come on, please. RNG Jesus. RNG Jesus. There we go. So you see wings here. You have little wings. Make you do 6% spell damage and 6% haste. The only issue is it doesn't stack. If it stacked, it would be very good because you could stack insane haste and damage multipliers during your burst phase, but unfortunately it doesn't happen like this. But it's still very much fun to play. And if you have trouble on this card because you can't kill ads, if you have trouble on assault, I hope you don't have trouble on assault, but let's say you have, fire is very good. On Manoroth it can be good, on Xul'Orak it can be good as well if you have trouble killing these ads. But here we go, this is fire. Thank you very much for following me. Stay tuned, I'm gonna do some rogue guides pretty soon. Here you go. See you next time.